What's going on YouTube? My name is Dom. So right now you can pick up Breakpoint, Ghost Recon Breakpoint on the Xbox store for $24.99. You can get the Ultimate Edition, I think, that comes with the Year 1 Pass for $24.99. On PlayStation, you can't get it for jack shit. On PlayStation, there is no such sale. However, nearly 2 years after the release of Breakpoint, a question that still needs to be answered is it worth buying? At release, the game was criticized for a lot of bugs, a faulty foundation for gameplay, and just a large and lifeless world. Yet, after numerous updates and additions, Ubisoft has really added a lot of content to this game, and I mean a lot. Just to put it in perspective, you now have 2 different campaigns that you can choose from. You have several DLC expansions. You have your main expansions, and then you also have like faction missions and events and things like that. You have a whole new island with over-the-top boss battles and new bases that you can encounter, an in-depth difficulty customization system, and I'm sure I'm leaving a lot of stuff out, but you get the point. Even if you hate the game and you hate the core mechanics of Ghost Recon Breakpoint, you cannot deny that the game has an absurd amount of content. If you're not familiar with me and my channel, I have been critical of Ghost Recon Breakpoint pretty much since its launch. Are you kidding me right now? I hope the game is just not loading properly or something, because there's no way a AAA developer would put out graphics like this in 2020, would they? I've been ragging on the game's sluggish movement, its not so fluid animations, and it's generally unsatisfying gameplay. If you are familiar with me and my channel, you're probably wondering where the hell I've been and where have my uploads been. Well, I will answer that question towards the end of the video, but for the meantime, we're going to go ahead and dive into whether or not Ghost Recon Breakpoint is worth buying in the year 2022. As you can see, I only have 165 hours played in Breakpoint, and that right there might be enough to convince you that it's worth a purchase. I mean, shit, if I put in that kind of time, it's gotta be worth it. A lot of that time was used to customize my character and play around with outfits, like a grown man playing dress up. I might mock it a little bit, but seriously, the customization in this game is my favorite part. After the previous years, Ubisoft has made numerous additions to the game store, which allows you to deck your character out in some badass ways. Run around looking like Arnold, Deadshot, or like you're going on a hike with your youth group. The options are limitless. Speaking of player choice, you have options to progress your character however you want, which is really fucking cool. I will quickly go over the various types of custom progression you can go through. You can upgrade your proficiencies with different weapon types. You can unlock and upgrade a basic perk tree. You can level up your AI teammates, which I have never done because I've always played with people, but I've heard great things about this system. You can level up each individual class up to level 20, and you can switch up different difficulty settings to work for you to make your game a totally unique experience. Further, you can kind of go through the game however you want. You can decide between the game's default tiered loot setting or not. You can decide which campaign to progress through first. You can decide which DLC you want to complete and which missions to follow first. You can decide where you want to go and what you want to do when you get there. Go quiet or loud. Use advanced tech or not. Up close and personal or far and silent. How about night or day? Fuck it, let's go mid-afternoon. Especially in our modern age of gaming, a lot of what Breakpoint does is unique and awesome. This title is really dedicated to player choice and you designing how you want the game to feel and play, which is all great. I'm greatly appreciative of all this stuff, and I really hope that despite Breakpoint's terrible reception, that some of these features will go on to survive in gaming because they're awesome. However, regarding sales numbers, it's kind of difficult to find an actual number. I did some research, I couldn't find anything, just vague statements about how the game didn't sell well. To be completely fair, we have a pretty good idea of why the game had a terrible reception. The movement is clunky as shit. You feel like a 300-pound man with a bubble around you that bumps into every little damn thing that you can imagine. Your character's movement is not polished and does not interact with the environment well at all. Look at this. I can load up a game and know exactly where the animations are going to fuck up. The enemy AI is straight up laughable at times, the level of details in the maps is missing, and the world as a whole feels lifeless and empty. If the customization and depth of player choice that is offered with Breakpoint were matched with a detailed world, fluid animations, and satisfying gameplay, I might be prepared to offer Ubisoft a damn award. This game would be incredible. But unfortunately, the situation that we find with Breakpoint is a little like the saying where, something is a mile wide but an inch deep, except in this situation, it's a mile wide, 10 feet deep in some parts, and dry as shit in others. It's kind of like a swamp or a desert during monsoon season, or a swampy desert, I guess. So then, does whether or not you should purchase this game come down to personal preference? If you like customization over gameplay, maybe you go for it. If you don't, maybe stay away from it. Well, it kind of seems that way, but I hate it when things come down to personal preference for one simple reason. Where is the truth in all this? There's gotta be a scale where you put things on one side and things on another and they outweigh regardless of personal preference. Some things simply must outweigh others. Considering that Breakpoint is a game and it does not perform well at the basics of being a game, I can only recommend that you purchase it at a price that reflects how well it succeeds in its core gameplay. $24.99? That sounds like a great price point. Anything more than that? Get the hell out of here. Sure, I have lauded the game with its many excellent additions and customization options, but these are accessories. It's like praising the icing on a cake, but accepting that the cake itself tastes like crap. I would just eat the icing if I could, and eating the icing by itself does not make for a good cake. It just makes me diabetic. So this video was not meant to be a super in-depth review of Ghost Recon Breakpoint over the years. If you're looking for that, I have other videos on the channel that break down a lot of different aspects of this game. However, this is my opinion after 2+ years of playing this game and seeing what they've added. Ubisoft has done a great job making additions to this franchise, which is something that Ubisoft is pretty good at, frankly. If you look at games like Rainbow Six, For Honor, now Ghost Recon, they're very good at adding content. It's just those core features that really fall flat for me. But anyway, that's going to be the end of this basic video, and this is supposed to kind of serve as the bookend for a Ghost Recon Breakpoint. It's kind of the end of that series for me. Now, this is going to be the part of the video where I go over what happened to the channel and where it's going to look going forward. So if you're at this point, I'm going to kind of put away the script. I don't have a script. Not that I even follow it that well when I do have one. So what the hell happened to me? Frankly, to be honest with you, what happened with this channel was it got dedicated to Ghost Recon, which I loved. But the problem was when Ghost Recon Breakpoint came out, I tried to keep up the channel. I tried to keep my views the same or progressing, even though the game just did not have the interest in it. There weren't people watching it. So I became tied down to this game, to this franchise. That's where a lot of my viewers came from, the Ghost Recon community, and I love you guys, but it's not huge. And so I tried to grow the channel. I wanted to grow it, and it just wasn't going to happen for Breakpoint. And the situation that I ran into was I'm chasing these views, trying to make these videos for this game that I didn't particularly enjoy. I didn't really like Breakpoint all that much. It's okay. Especially when it first came out. I like it now a lot better than I did back then. What ended up happening was I started to chase those views a little bit, and I kind of drifted away from what I wanted the channel to be in the first place. And that's why I'm kind of coming back now. I'm putting this little bookend, in the end of, I'm marking the end of the Breakpoint phase and trying to set up a new phase to do what I originally intended with this channel, which was to combine. My goal for this channel originally was to combine philosophy and gaming, because I feel like there's a lot of really good stuff in philosophy that can help with gaming and just help with general life and the way you think about things. And what ended up happening during this hiatus was I went back to school. When I stopped doing YouTube, I went back to school and I finished up my degree. I just graduated. Last year COVID pandemic hit, so I went back to school and to try to finish it. And now I feel like I'm in a place where I have the education and I have that background knowledge to where I can do what I want, what I wanted to do with this channel originally, which was to combine concepts. It was just to combine philosophy and gaming and create something new And that's what I'm going to be trying to do from this point on. But if you did stay for this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying a dedicated subscriber and follower to the channel. I have seen some of the comments that people have been posting during my hiatus, and thank you guys for all that support and feedback. So but anyway, this is going to be the start of a new era kind of with the channel. It's going to be gaming, but it's going to change a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. But thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in the next video.